Hello guys and welcome to a Nightmare Corridor video. In this video I'll be showing you guys my teams and I'll also be showing you guys a more general guide. The general guide is a little more pay to win, to be honest. However, I'll also be going over my teams from last week, which were highly free-to-play friendly. However, last week there was a buff on the first round, which made it a little easier to make free-to-play friendly teams that round. Alright. Now, so far I've only done 10 attacks. Usually I pay diamonds to refresh for a bit more attacks. But I didn't do this time around because I need my diamonds to summon for Liberta, who I'm merking for this round. Alright, so for the first team here, I'm using Karashu and Yorin, right? One thing that you can do here is that you can replace either of these with Moriel or Helios or any support really, and it'll slow down the team a lot. However, it will free up one of these two heroes that you could use to carry another round of the Nightmare Corridor. Now, for this team, this is the Belinda team. There's a team out there that doesn't use Belinda. However, for most people, they have Belinda built. And this is also where there's a debuff for this round, which means that you have a benefit of using three... if you use 3 Graveborn or Mauler heroes, this team will speed up a lot. Now, if you guys have the Awakened version of Saphir built, one thing that you would want to do is use the best in slot team here. As you can see, this team is ridiculous because it kills the boss in 11 seconds, right? And that's because it takes advantage of the Mauler buff, along with using the Awakened version of Saphir. However, I don't have her, so I'm just sticking with Belinda, even though it's a lot slower. Right, next up we have this team. This is the Scarlet team, the Scarlet Gress team. If you don't have Awakened Thalia, you can use Gress in here. If you don't have Naruko, you can use any support, right? There's a lot of light bearer supports, right? You could use Twins, you could use Rain, you could use Rosaline, you could use Palmer. Pretty much slot around here, but if you have her, she runs. I think she needs her 30 signature item to be truly useful in this round. But yeah, if you don't have Awakened Thalia, it's not a big deal. You can use Grisul instead. This next team is the pretty stable team. There's some things that you can do in here, and that mainly rolls around if you have Trashia built, and you need a very well built Trashia. I believe you at least need her 30 signature item, probably 3 furniture and engraving 30. Now I don't have that investment in that hero because, well, she doesn't see that much use, but actually she does see a fair amount of use that I could probably invest into her at this point. However, I'm holding off. One thing that you can do in this team is you can swap the seal pad. If your seal is not that high, you could swap the seal pad for the winged lion in here, and it's about the same time. But I'm using the seal because I wanted to use the seal somewhere, and yeah, that's basically it. Now, this is a round where a lot of things can be done, right? Now, the thing that springs to your eyes is me using the Awakened version of Leica. However, I'll go show you guys the teams that I used last week when I didn't have the Awakened version of Leica, and also I believe the trial is still going on, so you could pop the trial here. But the main thing that you need in this team is a built-out Liberta. Now, obviously, you don't need a Liberta built out to this extent, right? It doesn't need to be a maxed Liberta, but my Liberta is currently ascended with 3 furniture and 20 signature item, and that is not cutting it. I believe you probably need the 9 furniture, and you probably need the engraving as well. So yeah, building Liberta out is crucial for this round. And if you don't have a built Liberta, I would probably merc it, unless you don't have a built Talene, which is the last carry of this round, right? As you can see in here, Talene is doing all the damage. And this is the setup that I'm using. There are some things that you can do here to play around. You can play around a bit with this team. And the main thing that you could use is if you could free up Rosaline. She really works well with Talene in this rotation when she follows Talene around, because then Talene ults more frequent, and whenever Talene ult, that's when the boss takes damage. Alright, so those were my teams so far for this round. I might do some resets tomorrow, I'm not sure because I haven't done much research, but I wanted to get this video out there before it was too late, so to speak. Some things I wanted to show you guys, I'll also link this in the description obviously, is this Chinese forum guide for the Nightmare Corridor of this week. Now these Chinese guides are super good if you can make the teams. However, they usually fail in doing great replacements for the awakened heroes. As you can see, first of all, as you can see up here, this guide agrees with me that Liberta is probably, I believe this is the Merc line, and Liberta is probably the most important mercenary hero that you could use. Obviously, I don't speak Chinese, so I have no idea what it actually says. But yeah, I would recommend merking Liberta if you don't have a strong one yourself. Excuse me. All right. So for the first team here, this is the Thane team. If you don't have Thane, you can use Krasio, you can use Yorin, and you can use both of them like I do for this round to get a decent result with the heroes that I'm using. This is the Belinda team, or alternatively, it's the Awakened Sophia team if you have her build, and then you can make this super strong team comp, right? This is the Scarlet team, right? I really recommend you guys not use Damia in here and use Damia in the Scarlet team, because without Damia, the Scarlet team really struggles. And also, obviously, if you don't have Awakened Athalia, you can use Gress, as I said earlier as well. This is the Rem team, right? You can use Trashia if you don't have Vathiel. Trashia needs to be fairly built. You need Awakened Disease to clear this round. He doesn't need investment at all. It's basically up to Rem, right? And I use the Seal Pet in here because I get a similar time with using Winged Line. Now here is the Liberta team, right? Because you need Liberta to kill this team. So you can see every single formation includes Liberta. Now, none of these are really truly free-to-play friendly. So I will be, as you can see here, actually this one is fairly free-to-play friendly. Not really, because it doesn't list a replacement for Awakened Baden. But I'll show you guys what I did last week for my teams, and I believe that was the best free-to-play solution for that round, and it'll work this round as well. Right, and then lastly here is the Talene team, and there's not much to do here. Yeah, so let me go check my my video last week. As you can see here, only 2 Awakened Heroes, and actually you can clear this round. You can clear this round with just 1 Awakened Hero, since there's a replacement for Belinda in the second round. Right, so I'm just going to go through the teams that I used last week because they're more free-to-play friendly. Now, the one thing that you can't copy is this first team, because there was a debuff on the boss, which meant that using 3 Wilders made this team a lot more useful than it actually is. So I would recommend using using Moril, using Crasio, using other heroes instead of this, right? So let's skip to this, which you actually can use. And as you can see here, this is an even better time than my current time, actually, using the Graveborn setup I'm currently using. As you can see, 37 seconds, Belinda. And also, it's possible to do this without Belinda. And then you would need to have a strong Anasta. Now, for this team, what I used was, as you can see here, this is basically the Athalia less version, right? No Athalia in this team. And yeah, you just use Grass and you use Twins, and then you make it happen. For this next team here, because I'm using Twins in here, I believe what I did was I used Twins in here for the Scarlet team, and then I used Helios in here instead. And as you can see, yeah, it's the same team I'm using this round, just with Helios instead. And now this is the round where you might be a little interested in, which is the Leica less Liberta round, right? So what I did was I used Crasio along with double heal composition, and then obviously Mortis to buff up Liberta, and Liberta does all the damage, but be warned, you need a strong Liberta for this round. I cannot stress it enough. A regular or a weak Liberta will not cut it for this round. So yeah, you would need a stronger Liberta to make this team work. Obviously not E80, right? You don't need the engraving 80, but I would probably suggest you need a 309 engraving 60 at least, probably. It seems that way. Liberta needs investment. And that's just because this boss is so tough to get through. Even the best in slot formations are struggling, right? And then lastly, I believe this is the same that I'm currently using. It's actually not exactly the same because I'm not using Rosaline. Instead of that, I'm using Mortis. But yeah, if you follow last week's guide, this is a little more free-to-play friendly than my current teams. And also, I believe I pull up the Belinda version without Belinda. Let's see if I can find it. here, right? So if you don't have Belinda, you can also use Anasta instead of Belinda here, and then use Rowan for the second fight. And that way you could get it done with just one awakened hero, and that's awakened version of Solus. And even then, Solus in this last team, I haven't tested how needed she is in this team, but maybe Nevanthi could cut it. I'm unsure about that, but yeah, you could do it with one awakened heroes if you followed last week's guide. If you follow my teams from this week, you would do it slightly faster. However, obviously there are 2 new awakened heroes in this week's guide, so it's a little less free to play friendly. But those should be some options for you guys to get through the Nightmare Corridor. Again, building out Liberta, super high priority for me personally, and I hope you guys as well, because if I was able to merc Matria for this round, well, oh, I didn't want to do that. I am able to merc Matria, but I can't use her because I need to use Liberta to make this round work. Another thing, I forgot it last week, but I do want to do it this week. This is not my final Curse Realm formation, but I'll just show you guys what I have been cooking up so far. As you can see, my damage is increasing, and this is my most recent, but not my finished product. Interestingly enough, it might be time to say goodbye to the awakened version of Baden. And by that I mean, you might not need to merc him anymore if Liberta can consistently replace him. But the best in slot formation uses both a Liberta and awakened version of Baden, so don't feel too bad. But for me, this is huge news for me because, yeah, freeing up a mercenary spot once I build my own Liberta will help me out a lot in the cursed realm, right? For the second team, this is the Belinda team. The third team, this is a Rem team. And then the fourth team, here I use Awakened Leica. You can use Saurus instead and get like I believe like a 4 billion damaging comp. But yeah, I'm using Leica because I have her, but she's not that much better than Saurus, to be honest. And then this is the seal composition, right? The stronger the seal, the stronger this comp is. And then lastly, this is the boss comp. Again, if you don't have Awakened Athalia, you can throw in Damon in here. You can throw in Helios. Oh, he's already in here, but you need like Damien, Dress, Yoren can work, the wilder damage hero, and then Gress lastly. And yeah, just a quick throwaway. I will be cooking these formations tomorrow morning as well, once I have a little more intel. But yeah, so far this is what I have, and obviously, if it helps you guys, it helps you guys, and that's great. But that's it for me. I said that this guide would be faster because I didn't have enough time, but it ended up being a longer video anyhow. So yeah, hopefully there was some information to help you guys improve your current scores, and I'll see you guys in the treasure scramble video coming up this week, right? Well, since it's a longer video, I might as well show you guys something. So I ended in the top 100 for the first time in a while in the treasure scramble because I've built my awakened heroes. But the thing that I actually want to show you guys, which I found pretty funny, is in the Legends Championship, and I want to show you guys my Leica team. So as you can see here, if you guys don't know the Legends Championship, your team fights until it loses. So my Leica team, as you can see here, it completely wiped all 6 of this guy's team, right? And then you can be like, okay, this guy doesn't have the strongest team, right? He's still using irons, for example. All right, let me look at this guy who has most awakened heroes built. Look at this. My Leica team won 8 consecutive battles and did not lose a single hero, wiping the floor with every single team of this guy. And as you can see, this guy is not a pushover, right? He has the awakened version of Leica. He has, awakened Athalia. He has Belinda. He has, well, I guess he has awakened Celine, but yeah, he has an Irons team. 5-pull is terrible, obviously. He has a strong dimensional team. He has Mulan built out. Like, this guy is not weak by any means, but yeah, Leica wiped everything. And then for the last team, Leica didn't actually wipe everything, right? As you can see, his Irons team somehow managed to beat my Leica team, but then my second team just wiped the floor with the rest of these teams. So yeah, it's safe to say that Awakened Leica is really strong, and it's also the hero that I've been using to claim the rank 1 spot in my arena of heroes, because this team is so broken. Like looking at this Millwind guy who is usually rank 1, right? I'm able to beat his team with Leica just because of the interaction between, whatever. Just because of the interaction between Leica and Ezio, right? So watch Ezio's mana. He starts with half energy, and then Leica, because he's in the same row as Leica, when she spawns in, he instantly ults. And then Damia, who already has so much energy, she also instantly ults. If we can get her to ult. Boom. And now it's completely over because, Rem will just knock them down into Ezio execute range while your team cannot die. And that's why this team is so incredibly broken. But yeah, this was probably my most unorganized Nightmare Corridor video. However, the TLDR is, look at my teams from this week, look at my teams from last week, look at the guide that I linked in the description. If you want Cursed Realm help, go back in the video and look at the teams that I used. I'm not done cooking them, but these are the teams that I'll share for now. But yeah, a longer video, a rambly video, I apologize. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here. I hope you guys can improve your scores.